Welcome to Week 4 of Community Engagement, Solidarity and Citizenship, CSC. Our learning competency for this week will be coming from the most essential learning competencies or MELCs of the Department of Education, and this is: differentiate typologies of communities. Our learning objectives for this week are the following. 1. Recognize diversities in communities. 2. Analyze functions of communities in terms of structures, dynamics, and process. 3. Compare and contrast typologies of communities. Our learning topics for this week are the following. 1. Types of community. 2. Characteristics of urban communities. Discussion. Communities may be categorized into different types. Below are some mainstream typologies of communities. The formal and informal typology emphasizes leadership and power relations in the community. Formal communities. Characterized by institutionally structured hierarchies, which define the relationship between authoritative and subordinate actors and groups. Communities that are typified through these features are driven by institutions, which not only show the location of power relationships, but also assign community members their specific roles and functions. Interrelationships within the community are defined and delineated by these assigned functions. Informal communities are said to be generally less rigid compared to formal communities. Informal communities are seen to typically operate through socio-cultural mechanisms within the community structure. Interrelationships thrive through loose connections, such as social networks and personal relationships. It should be noted, however, that the formal and informal typology simplistically bases its categories on the function of institutions, formal and informal, in characterizing communities. Thus, the adoption of such a crude typology as a means to examine and categorize communities have garnered criticisms from experts and practitioners. Local global typology focuses on the scope and breadth of communities with respect to its geographic dimensions and the reach of its other dimensions, for example economic, socio-political, and cultural. Local community is a group of individuals interacting within a shared environment. A global community stretches beyond the frontiers of a local community, transcending national, supranational, and regional demarcations. Global communities are not constrained by geographic boundaries. They consist of individuals and groups who share values, beliefs, preferences, needs, risks, interests, identities, and other attributes beyond physical, cultural, and politico-geographic borders. Rural-urban typology. The rural-urban typology of communities is based on the distinction in terms of development, industrialization, ecological conditions, and lifestyle. Rural communities are characterized as pastoral, agricultural, and located along the periphery of urban centers or in the countryside. Communities in these areas are less modernized and the lifestyle is slow and idyllic. Examples of these communities in the Philippines are farming and agricultural communities in northern and central Luzon, or local fishing villages in the coastal areas and islands in the Visayas and Mindanao. Urban communities are described as industrialized and commercial centers. Population density is relatively high compared to rural communities. Urban communities are also sketched as technological, modern, and cosmopolitan. Examples of these communities in the Philippines are metropolitan centers, cities, and municipalities located in Metro Manila and Metro Cebu. The community sector is a broad set of community-based organizations that voluntarily and autonomously function beyond a government or state. It is comprised of individuals and groups whose purpose for organizing may be social, political, economic, cultural, or religious. Types of community. 1. Formal communities. 2. Informal communities. 3. Urban communities. 4. Rural communities. 5. Global communities. 6. Sectoral communities. 7. Social space communities. Formal communities. Engage in joint activities and discussion, help each other, and share information with each other. They care about their standing with each other. Examples: eco-villages, co-housing communities, co-ops communities, and religious communities. Informal communities consists of a set of personal relations, social networks, common interest and emotional sources of motivation. Examples: academic communities, recreation communities and retirement communities. Urban communities. Large in terms of land area and population, advanced in science and technology, with favorable physical environment and in diverse cultures, and the people are engaged in various occupations. Characteristics of urban communities. 1. Advancement in science and technology. 2. Many business establishments, recreational centers, educational and religious institutions. 3. People are crowded. 4. Social heterogeneity. 5. Class extremes. 6. Greater pollution. 7. Many crimes are committed. 8. Family ties tend to be weak. 9. Limited space. 10. Greater impersonality among neighbors. 11. Higher standard of living. 12. Shortage of employment, and 13. Informal settlers are rampant. Characteristics of rural communities. 1. Greater personal interaction. 2. Deep, long-term relationships. 3. Generally, peace and order exists. 4. Mutual give-and-take affairs. 5. Emphasis of shared values. 6. Vernacular is usually spoken. 7. Wider area. 8. Influence of blood relationships in decision-making. 9. Homogeneous type of culture. 10. Belief in supernatural and superstitious beliefs. 11. Relationship is more personal and informal. 12. Less pollution. 13. Few establishments and institutions, and 14. Few goods and services. Global communities. It is the international aggregate of nation-states. Global communities or world community is concerned in issues of human rights, global warming and climate change, peace and order, socio-economic conditions as well as disputed issues such as territorial conflict. Sectoral communities include the voluntary sector or non-profit sector. Sectoral communities: voluntary, non-profit and non-governmental. Also called third sector, in contrast to public and private sector. NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Social space communities. Social space communities. A social space is a physical or virtual space includes the following: physical, social center, gathering place, town squares, parks, pubs, shopping malls. Virtual, online social media, websites. community and its 5 functions. A community is a group of people in the same geographic area, under common laws, that has a sense of fellowship, belonging, and obligation to the group. Types of communities are a neighborhood, church, a mom's group, a town, Girl Scouts, etc. The community has 5 functions: production, distribution, consumption, socialization, social control, social participation, and mutual support. Community and its 5 functions. 1. Production, distribution, consumption. The community provides its members with the means to make a living. This may be agriculture, industry, or services. 2. Socialization. The community has means by which it instills its norms and values in its members. This may be tradition, modeling, and/or formal education. 3. Social control. The community has the means to enforce adherence to community values. This may be group pressure to conform and/or formal laws. 4. Social participation. The community fulfills the need for companionship. This may occur in the neighborhood, church, business, or other group. 5. Mutual support. The community enables its members to cooperate to accomplish tasks too large or too urgent to be handled by a single person. Supporting a community hospital with tax dollars and donations is an example of people cooperating to accomplish the task of health care. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more updates.